Imagine waking up on your porch with a mug of strong black coffee, watching your horses graze peacefully in the morning sun, when suddenly a sheriff's cruiser and a black SUV crawl up your dirt driveway. You squint at the dust cloud, and then you see it. Clipboard lady from the HOA and two uniformed officers. Yeah, they came to take your ranch. Hi, I'm Carter Briggs, just an old-school, boots-in-the-mud kind of guy. After 35 years of swinging hammers and dodging deadlines in the Dallas construction scene, I cashed in everything to buy my dream property in a little town called Ironwood, Colorado. 15 acres of rolling hills, clean air, and absolutely no one telling me what to do. Well, almost. See? When I bought the place, the previous owner said, "Oh yeah, there's an HOA, but it's been dead for years. Just send in the $20 fee once a year and ignore the rest." That, my friend, was the bait. For the first 2 years, life was pure bliss. I built my own solar setup, installed a gravity-fed water system, and even had a garden so productive I had to start giving away zucchinis just to make room for the cucumbers. Then one day, this guy shows up at a mandatory community meeting in town. Slick hair, $800 loafers, the kind of smile that usually comes with a non-refundable timeshare. Introduces himself as Bryant Kessler, the new HOA president. And just like that, Ironwood was being revitalized. New rules, new fees, new fines, new headaches. Suddenly, my ranch didn't meet community standards. I was slapped with a $600 violation for my solar panels, $800 for using an unregulated water source, and, get this, $1,000 for having a garden visible from the road. Visible from the road. Like my tomatoes were committing public indecency. When I called to push back, Bryant's assistant said, "Sir, your lifestyle choices don't align with Ironwood's modern vision." Modern vision? I didn't move here to join a country club. I moved here to escape one. Things escalated fast. They threatened to lien my property. Started sending inspectors who snuck onto my land to take photos. One of them tried to pet my mule. He left with a limp. I wasn't the only one under attack. Ms. Nora, a sweet retired nurse down the hill, cried in front of everyone at a town forum when she got hit with a $2,000 connection fee. A local veteran, Ed, had his wind turbine dismantled while he was out getting groceries. So, a few of us neighbors decided we weren't going to roll over. We formed a group, collected complaints, even tried getting the county to step in. But every door got slammed in our face. And that's when my buddy Hank made a phone call. Hank used to work in film years ago, real behind-the-scenes guy. But turns out, he's still got some very interesting contacts. A few days later, I get invited to dinner at Hank's place. I walk in expecting some old attorney or maybe a local journalist. But nope, it's Clint Eastwood. I kid you not. Dirty Harry himself, sitting in a plaid flannel shirt, sipping black coffee like he owns the room. I just stood there like an idiot. Hank claps me on the back and says, "Carter, meet the man who's going to help you keep your land." Over grilled steaks and local whiskey, I told Clint everything. The fines, the threats, the HOA's sudden resurrection from the dead. Clint listened quietly, nodded, and finally said, "You know, Carter, they're not after your garden. They're after your independence. Some people can't stand to see a man living free." The next morning, Clint walks my property, checks the solar setup, the water tanks, the garden. He smiles and says, "This is what America used to be." They want it gone because it reminds them they gave it up. That's when it happened. 3 cars pulled into my driveway. Bryant in his shiny SUV, 2 HOA board members, and a county deputy with a folder in his hand. Inspection order in tow. They weren't expecting Clint Eastwood. The deputy's eyes widened like he'd seen a ghost. Bryant looked like he swallowed a lemon. I stayed quiet. Clint didn't. He stepped forward and said, calm as ever, "Before anyone steps foot on this property, maybe explain why a man's being punished for using sunshine and rain." Bryant tried to bluster, but Clint pulled out his phone and showed an email from the state attorney general's office. It confirmed an investigation into HOA corruption and conflicts of interest involving, guess who? Bryant's brother-in-law, CEO of the very utility company pushing for these connections. The deputy slowly folded the warrant and put it back in his folder. "This inspection's over," he said. And they left. But the story didn't end there. Hank had recorded the whole confrontation on his phone. High-res, clean audio, everything. He sent it to a contact at the Denver Tribune. Within 24 hours, the clip went viral. Headline: Clint Eastwood defends Colorado rancher from HOA overreach. Next thing I knew, news vans were parked at the end of my road. Reporters called. State reps got involved. People across the country shared their own HOA horror stories. It wasn't just me anymore. It was a movement. Within a month, the HOA's foreclosure power was suspended. Bryant resigned. The Attorney General filed charges. The county nullified every fine they'd levied on self-sufficient homeowners. And the Colorado legislature? They passed a new law protecting off-grid living, renewable energy, and backyard farming. As for our little town, we rewrote the HOA charter from scratch. Hank became board president. Ms. Nora's rain barrels are now a community project. Ed rebuilt his wind turbine, this time with help from 3 teenagers who wanted to learn. Clint called a few weeks later just to say, "Nice work, partner." I told him, "Next time you're in town, bring a shovel. We're building a greenhouse. So now, let me ask you something. If the HOA came after your tomatoes, your rain barrels, your way of life, would you fight back? Or would you let them turn your home into just another box on a map?" Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've got your own HOA war story, I want to hear it. Because sometimes it only takes one man with a shovel and one man with a stare that could end wars to remind people what freedom really looks like.